Bucks fans, and welcome into the Journal-Sentinel. I'm Kassidy Hill, joined by Jim Owczarski. I said it right. Almost. Here for Game 1 of Bucks versus Bulls in the Pfizer Forum. Jim, I think this is the first time we've done this season.
It is. Well, I'm happy to be back. I've been off Packers beat for a little while.
It's not Packers today, Jim. This is Bucks.
Come in. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, this is. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is definitely exciting to be here. You can already feel it. Games have already started this weekend. This is the penultimate game for the first round of games. Yes, I had to make sure I said that right. And we just had an update from Coach Bud, an injury update. Why don't you tell everyone what that was?
Yeah, so veteran backup point guard George Hill, who's been dealing with what they call an abdominal strain. He didn't practice this week, but yesterday Mike Budenholzer was optimistic George would be able to play. Pre-game, he is out. George Hill is not playing today. That means you can look for Javon Carter. I know there's some Bucks fans watching this who are probably like that news, but yeah, Javon Carter should be ready to go as the backup point guard.
As we were coming in, I actually came in with the Bulls team. I felt like I was a part of the team for a second. Had a slight moment of nostalgia walking in with Billy Donovan. I covered him at Florida for years. He is one of my favorite coaches. All of that being said, Bulls are not getting a lot of chances, or at least outside perception says they're not getting a lot of chances in this series. But I heard you talking before, Bucks kind of struggle at times in Game 1. Do you anticipate that being the case again today?
Frankly, yes, I anticipate that, Kassidy. Look, last year, of course, the Bucks won the championship. They only won the first game of a series one time, and that was in the first round against Miami. Bucks fans probably remember Chris Middleton had to hit a buzzer beater. Go back to the bubble, Kassidy. They lost to Orlando. They lost to Miami. So they're 1-6 in their last 7 game ones. So yeah, they've got a little bit of work to do. The Bulls obviously have been good this year. If they're going to get one, today might be one, unless the Bucks are kind of dialed into that thing, but we'll see.
If you have any questions for Jim, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'll get to them here as we round up. But let's just hypothetical. Let's say that they do pull out a win today, have no issues whatsoever, no butterflies in Game 1. What will be the two things that you think would be the reason? If we're standing here at the end of the night with the Bucks win, what are the two reasons?
Well, one, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player on the floor. You're looking at this saying, duh. But, I mean, look, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are all-stars. Nikola Vucevic is an all-star. Actually, he was one of the big reasons why Orlando beat the Bucks in Game 1 in the bubble. He had a huge game. So the Bulls, yes, are not favored to win many games in the series, Kassidy. But if the Bucks are going to come out and win, Giannis is on his game, ready to go. The other one is keeping DeMar DeRozan off the free throw line. The closest game of this series in regular season, Kassidy, DeMar DeRozan went to the line 18 times. The Bucks kept him off the line in Games 2, Game 3, and Game 4 he had 8 free throws. So if the Bucks are going to win, DeMar DeRozan needs to be taking mid-range shots and not free throws.
We saw last night in the Warriors game, Jordan Poole just kind of go off and have a night. You mentioned Giannis having a big night, Chris Middleton. Do the Bucks have a young guy like that Jordan Poole that could come out tonight and just take over?
In that sense, no, Kassidy. I would say, though, look, if there's a new player, so the core 6 are back, Wesley Matthews is going to draw the toughest defensive assignment. So I don't know if Wes is really going to be that offensive breakout. Now, much of the chagrin of Chicago fans, it might be Grayson Allen. This is only his 4th year in the league. He's only been through the first round of the playoffs. He's never advanced beyond that. So he would be the new addition, the younger player who hasn't really experienced this sort of level of playoff. That, if there's going to be that guy, it would be Grayson Allen.
These two teams are familiar with each other. What is the danger of that when you get into the postseason, having a team that knows who you are already?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, they did play each other 4 times. And, Drew Holiday said, he's like, look, there is film work. There is a lot of study in this week of practice the Bucks had, because whatever sets, for instance, the Bulls ran, they're going to vary that up. They're going to change it a little bit. I mean, and even though on the Bucks end of things, though they won 4 times, you can't assume that that's going to work. So, yeah, I think the danger there is a little bit of familiarity and maybe a little bit of complacency. Like, you don't set out to be complacent, but I think sometimes we kind of know what they're going to do. So that's something the Bucks have to guard against.
As we said, game 1 here tonight in Pfizer Forum. Players are warming up behind us. We are not far from tip-off, about a little over an hour away. Any final thoughts? What are your predictions for tonight?
I do think the Bucks win this game 1.
Now you jinxed it.
I think they reverse the trend. I do think it'll be a close game though. And yeah, just overall, Kassidy, for this series, the Bucks are frankly a better team. And unlike up in Green Bay, the better team doesn't always where the better team doesn't always win. The better team usually wins in these games. So yeah, I think the Bucks will win this one. Could be close, and then Bucks win the series.
I was about to ask, if they win tonight, do you predict a sweep if they can get that game 1 out of the way?
I do. I do think it's, and I think it is tonight. I think this is the one the Bulls can get, just based off history. And not just the Bucks series history. When Drew Holiday's come back from injuries and All-Star break, he's rusty. Giannis has been rusty after long breaks, injury, COVID, otherwise. So if they don't win this one, I feel like the momentum for the Bucks, will just be too much for the Bulls. So yeah, I do think it's a sweep in that one, and if not, what do they call it? A gentleman's sweep in 5 games.
A gentleman's sweep. Little nod of the head. Like we said, tip-off at 5:30 here in Pfizer Forum. JS Online, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel will have full coverage for you throughout the game and post as well. Thanks so much for joining us.